Hey there, it's me, Nate, and today I just want to talk to you guys about what I've been reading, what I've been up to lately. It's been a little bit since my last review, which was The Giver. That was a couple weeks ago, and since then I've been had like a string of DNFs, and also I put out my video of my 2026 50 book TBR, which I'm not sure I'm gonna get through. But I want to try it out. Also, I have a new mic, so let me know how that is. How the quality and everything is. But for now, let's just get into it. So, if you did watch that TBR video I put out, these are all books from that video. I did DNF some other books in December, but I didn't really feel like talking about or making content about a bunch of DNFs. But here we go. This will start with a couple of DNFs before I get into what I'm currently reading and really, really enjoying. So first off, I have Moonstorm by Yoon Ha Lee, and this is a YA sci-fi. I don't know if I'd say space opera, but it's like Wi-Fi, not Wi-Fi, YA sci-fi book that is basically a space take of like the old kind of like Korean Joseon Empire. I don't know if I pronounced that right, but it is what it is. And the premise was really interesting, really grabbed my attention. But I find, especially the opening chapter, the first chapter, is like really, really strong because our main character, whose name I've already forgot, hold on, Hwa Young. Our main character, Hwa Young, the first chapter is when she's a child, living with her family on one of the Clanner moons, which is like, and the Clanners were like this faction separate from the Empire, and they're basically her world like literally starts falling and getting ripped apart, and her family is all taken out. And the way it's written was really strong, and that's what really, it's like, oh, I definitely got to read this. I really got to get into it, and that's that what really dragged me in. But then after that, it skips to 6 years later, so she's now 16, for the majority of the book, and her and all of the other characters are so bland and stereotypical and uninteresting, and I just really couldn't care about any of them or what was going on. And it just, I don't know, it just, like, how strong that first chapter was written, and then how weak sauce the rest of it was. That contrast is honestly the thing I'll probably remember the most about this book. Yeah, so that like I said, that was Moonstorm by Yoon Ha Lee. And then next up, this book is super well regarded. A lot of people really love it. I frankly found myself really bored and uninterested, and I was more than happy to walk away from this. And that is The Song of Achilles by Madeline Miller. And this is a retelling of the Iliad, but focuses more on the viewpoint of Patroclus and Achilles and like their relationship with each other, more so than the Helen and Troy and Paris and Hector. Like, it has those characters in there, but it's more about the relationship between Patroclus and Achilles. And it is super like, it's not hard to read. It's like the prose is very contemporary, very modern. So it's not a hard thing to read. It's just I frankly found it hyper boring. Because really, it's like they, after Patroclus accidentally kills a child that is the son of a noble from his own father's court. He doesn't really explain himself or anything. So due to avoid like the political nature of the situation, his father exiles him to another kingdom, and he goes to Achilles' kingdom, and is like raised with a bunch of other like orphan or exiled boys, and him and Achilles slowly become like friends, and it's very obvious that Patroclus is in love with Achilles, that they have feelings for each other, and it just kind of like goes on and on about it, and it's like, I don't know, I haven't read the Iliad myself. If it's written like this, I wouldn't want to read it. It's like, at a point, it just came like, can we just like get on with this? It's like, if you ever get to a point when you're reading a book and you feel like, I kind of just want to skip ahead, or it's like you have to question yourself, or like you're like glancing at your phone while you're doing it, just put it down. Just DNF it. It's not worth it. Because if you have to think about whether you're enjoying something, then you're not enjoying it. You're just, it's performative. So you should just move on from it, and and stop wasting your time. And then next up, the book I started and I'm currently loving, even though I'm not very far in, is The Priory of the Orange Tree by Samantha Shannon. Now, this book is a chonker. It's 800 something pages. I think it's like 804, and then there's like a bunch of like glossary for like some of the vocabulary and words used in the story, and background details on some like the lore of the world. But I started out reading this because I do most of my reading at work on my lunch break to pass the time. Sorry. And this book it takes place in this world, which, come to think of it, I don't know if they've said like the name of the world, but this world is there's multiple continents and multiple island like nations and kingdoms, but it's mostly separated from the east side of the world and the west side of the world, and the east and the west do not get along. They have religious and ideological differences that have been millennia, century spanning, that they are just like can't come to grips with each other. And so to spread out our POVs of the characters that we follow. We have two characters in the west, and we have two characters in the east. At least so far from where I'm at. I'm only 100 something pages in, so I'm only 1/8 of the way through the book. Because in the east, we have Tane, who is a member of, who has just graduated this like a high sea guard academy, in hopes that she can become a dragon rider on the island of Seiki, which is in the east. And then also we have Niclé Ruse, who is a master surgeon and alchemist, who has, after trying to swindle the Queen of Enos in the west, was banished to the east in exile. And he just, he, after losing everything that he cares about, is mostly a drunk and has gambling debts, before he gets involved in this conspiracy with Tane, where she accidentally finds an outsider on Seiki. And on Seiki, outsiders are forbidden or outlawed, or usually executed on sight. for fear that they might have the draconic plague, and so they try to she tries to involve Niklay Ruse so that way they can try to get this outsider off of Seiki. And that's our perspectives on the east side of the world. On the west side of the world, we have Eid. I don't know how it's actually supposed to be pronounced. I think it's Eid because her name is literally EAD, and she serves as a seemingly just normal commoner, like a lady in waiting or like a kind of like a maid servant in the kingdom of Enos, serving under the Queen Barafnet, Queen Sabrin Barafnet. But in actuality, she was sent there from this group or religion called the Priory in a southern country called Lasia to protect Enos, the Queen of Enos, because in the world there is this, like thousands of years ago, or 1,000 years ago, I think, there was this like ancient like dragon, there's an ancient creature called the Nameless One that came out from basically the core of the planet and tried to like destroy and take over the world before he was stopped by the founder of Enos and like other, kings and knights at the time. At least that's like, the story that we were told, but there's seemingly discrepancies in what actually happened, and like, we find that out as we go on. And so Eid, she has been sent there by the Priory to like secretly guard the queen in case because there is a legend that as long as the bloodline of the Barafnets survive, the Nameless One won't return. He won't awaken and come back out and try to take over the world again. And so assassins keep on being sent to target the queen, and so she secretly takes out these assassins before they can take out the queen. And it's kind of like her story about dealing with like political court intrigue while also trying to keep her identity as like this bodyguard, and like her true faith secret, because anybody who has like a different faith from the Innis faith is considered a heretic and is usually either exiled, put to death, or they try to convert you. So she has to like deal with like not only protecting somebody that she doesn't like, but also like lying about to herself and to the people around her about who she is and what she is. So Eid is probably like the best character so far out of the four. And then the fourth character is Artaloth Beck. But he just calls him Beck. Not Beck. Everybody just calls him Loth. And he is like a nobleman. He's a son of like one of the like a high-ranking noble in the kingdom of Enos. But he has been basically disappeared in the middle of the night by what is it called? I think it's basically the spy master of the Enos court, because the high members of the Enos council, they want the queen to be married to a foreign nobility, so that way they can bring in more power and wealth into Enos. But Loth and the queen have always been close with each other and friends since they were children, and even though they have no romantic desire for each other, from the appearance of a seeming relationship between the two of them damages a potential for a foreign noble to come in and and for them to be wed. And so the spy master basically kidnaps him in the middle of the night and forces him to go be the ambassador and spy in the court of Iskalin, where which used to be a longtime ally of Enos, but is now changed the religion and changed to basically that they now worship and serve the Nameless One, and are like awaiting his return. And so Enos, for the most part, has severed all ties with Iskalin, but they still have like an ambassador between the two countries. And so Loth has been selected to be the new ambassador to Iskalin. And while he's there, he's supposed to find out what's going on there, and also to see if he can find the Queen's father, who was the previous ambassador to Iskalin, and that whole situation. And so that's I know it seems like a lot, but that's everything. That's only the first 100 pages, because that's all I've really read so far. And even though the prose is very modern, it's not super antiquated. There's so much information packed in here. There'd be a lot of times where I'd be reading, I'd be reading the page, and they're having this scene, this discussion, and they'd be interesting. Here's this person and this person who are like nobles or like government officials in this kingdom, and they make reference to another kingdom with this person or that person, and that's like, I read the end of a page, and I'll be like, hold on, let me run that back. So I'd have to go back and like reread the page, again, or maybe go back a couple pages previously because I misunderstood something. But once you get to like page like 70 or 80, like closer towards 100, the names and locations of the people and kingdoms, they really start to like settle and solidify in your mind. And you don't have to like do that as much, so you can it's a more smoother reading experience. So I'd say if you're reading this and you're having trouble with it, you should definitely try to get up to around page 100, because that is also the point when a lot more of the action stuff starts happening around the 100 page mark or so, because that's just like what I've experienced, because like where I left off reading at work yesterday, I was like, man, that was crazy. I can't wait to read more, and I haven't had time to read more yet. So definitely, yeah, I would say if you're not feeling it, try to get to page 100 or so, because I'm 117 pages in, and so far I'm loving this, because early on I wasn't sure, and it's like you're throwing a whole lot of lingo and words and stuff and like countries at me that I don't know, but I think if you give this book a shot, it really solidifies. I could be eating crow later on, because like I said, I'm only an eighth of the way through this long book, so it could totally fall apart by the end of it, but as of yet, I am loving this book, The Priory of the Orange Tree by Samantha Shannon. So far, I would recommend this. And that's what I'm reading right now. Hopefully, the next time I do like one of these like updates, whatever I'm going to call this, I can be a lot further in or be closer to finishing, and give you, my updated thoughts on it. And this will once I finish this, this will be my next review. So hopefully, it won't be too long of a gap before my next video. But yeah, thanks for watching. Make sure to like and subscribe. And if you could, let me know how the new mic sounds. I'm also in a different position in this room, and I didn't really think about it, but since I'm like in this position, the audio might be different, especially because I'm in here between like in the corner between these two walls. I don't know if the sound is going to bounce off a lot. So I'll have to see when I rewatch this, to see how the audio is. I should have tested that, but oh well, you just got to roll with it. But yeah, thanks for watching, and until next time, have a good day.